All right, on the bench, out of a 2012 Ford F-150 with a 3.5, we have the good old 6R80. And as you know, this is very, very similar to the ZF6 HP26. So what's going on with this? When this came in, it actually was not shifting. You know, the guy came in and he goes, it's not shifting out of first. I'm thinking speed sensor code, because I've never seen this type of problem before. I mean, it wouldn't shift out of first. So I said, oh, it's probably a lead frame, you know. I was explaining to him what happens, and I hooked my scanner up, and the only code present in the transmission is friction element E apply time. So I drove the car, confirmed no shift, I cleared the code, and it started shifting. 1, 2, 3, and then when it went to fourth, forget it. Raced up, slammed in, boom. Went right back in. The same code came back within 2 or 3 block radius, and it stopped shifting again. But I really have never seen that type of fail-safe before with this kind of car. You know, Norm might go into 3rd gear or 5th gear might be the fail-safe on these, but it just seemed like it wasn't really shifting out of first. Very strange, and I had the scanner with me. I cleared it, and it shifted again. Did the same thing. So there's something really wrong with that E-clutch or overdrive clutch when we open. I don't know if it's going to be wiped out, if the piston is broken, but as soon as that thing hit 4th gear, forget it. So we're going to open it. I did, you know, want to drain the unit, so, you know, when it was out, I drained it and I took the pan down just to see, and the pan really wasn't that bad. I don't know if they may have tried to service the transmission at one point thinking that may fix it, but the only code was friction element E apply time. It came back, I cleared it, it came back pretty much on the first shift cycle. As soon as that thing hit 4th gear, it would just race up, you know, then I release the gas and slam in. So we're going to open it up and see how bad that E-clutch is. All right, so let me get a little closer and we'll take this thing apart. All right, so first, let's get these 10mm bolts out for the pump, because these 6R80 pumps, sometimes they don't come out so easy. Okay. Yeah, the fluid really doesn't smell burnt. You know, that's why I'm thinking maybe they had the pan down, either that or, you know, these pistons do crack, and I keep the whole setup in stock, the piston, the Belleville springs, the return springs. There's a few of these that were pretty bad. And on more than one occasion, on like 3 in a row, I had to change them. So I said, you know what, let me just keep a set in stock. All right, here is where you fill it and check it. There's your little dipstick here, and here's your little, it sits in, looks like a kind of like a lug nut. Okay, so we got the bolts out. Okay, here's the pan. Felt there. Definitely have some clutch material there, so certain that 100% that E-clutch is screwed up bad. I just don't know how bad. I mean, did the clutches just flake off and the seals tear? Did the piston go bad? We shall find out. Let me get rid of some of the oil. Okay. So we're going to pop this tab up. We got to get the pass-through connector out. Okay, that was easy. All right. Now we're going to get all our larger heads. See, there's different size heads here. It's small and large, so the larger ones are the ones that are going to come out. That is a torque 30. Okay. Okay. Right. Here is our lead frame that's going to be changed, and I have a valve body plate coming. Okay, so here's our bridge seal that'll be changed. Here is our thermal bypass, which I'm going to put an updated one in so it bypasses this, so there's constantly cooler flow. We have our 3 feed tubes. Let me just get my snap ring pliers to get those out. Okay. And we have the bias spring here to keep that electrical diode from rattling. You gotta be careful because these things do like to fly. Alright, that's what that looks like. Okay, now we gotta see if we can get this pump out. And like I said, the little tough sometimes to come out. But what I'm going to do is I usually pry on the A drum here and here. I don't want to pry here. I don't want to pry up here because this is like machined, you know, where the pump is. So I'm going to see if we can get this here and here. Wow, I'll tell you, it never comes out that easy. Wow. I usually got to spray stuff, clean it down. Wow. Okay. All right, so we have our bushing here, rear stator bushing. It's going to be changed because that is a problem. Now we're going to take the front section out. Okay. All right, so let's just get this thing apart and we'll open everything up. All right, here's the B drum. All right, now we have the center support snap ring. You know, they always put it in a bad spot. I like to pry here, and that's where the opening is. So, what I'm going to do is see if I can move that snap ring. And then when I put it back, I always put the opening there in case it has, you know, got to take this thing out or take it apart again. Alright, so what I can do, if it's not really going to move, I'm going to push it forward and get behind it. I don't know how well you guys could see here. And then maybe I can get it out that way. Alright, so I'm going to push the snap ring, has like an edge on it where I can get this in. Push it. case is going to roll. Okay, got it. Now let's work it out. Okay, so I bring the tapered side faces up. Now let's see how easy the center support is going to come out, and then we'll take the planet out, and we can start opening things. All right, it's coming, but these things got to be like perfectly straight. There, it's getting stuck. Alright, here we go. Alright, I have these tabs on it, so the center support does not spin. Okay, we can put this aside. Here is a shim I'm just going to put back in the bearing. We're going to take the diode out. Around 2012 was the first year they added the diode. Alright, so let's take the planet out with the low reverse clutch. And you want to watch the splines. Right, let me just get this clutch out here. Okay. Just get this thing out. And I'm going to get the pressure plate out because that will go in first since the piston is on the center support. The wavy sits on the piston. All right, now on the, take note, actually we're going to go over this later, how this, in case this falls apart on you, you'll know how it goes together. And you want to also check the splines here because they love to strip out, especially on transits. I don't really see it too much on the F-150s, but on the transits, yes. And you'll also get a neutral condition going into fourth if that's stripped out. All right, now, do we have any shims here? Okay, all right, so the case pretty much is stripped. All right, so what I want to do now is just get rid of some of this oil. So I'm just going to put you guys on hold for a few minutes, and then we'll open up and see what we got. All right, so let's get the front section apart. I'm going to take this bearing off here, which goes on the V drum. Put that aside. We got a snap ring here. All right, just popped out of its. Just kind of look at the orientation of the snap ring on how it goes in because it's kind of locked in there. Okay. All right, now we're going to take off the hub for the B clutch. Take off the hub for the A clutch. Oh, here we go. There we go. Broken hub. All right, let me take this bearing off here. Okay. So here is our problem, and this goes into the planetary, which I'll show you in a few minutes. So, hey, there's our no fourth gear. 5th or 6th. Okay, so I got to get a shaft for this. There's a snap ring in here that I can take out and reuse the hub. All right, so I'll do that in a second. All right, so we got the other bearing here on top of the E-drum. All right, so now I just want to show you this. I mean, there's, you know, this stuff is wiped out. Wiped out. All right, it's on the snap ring end. Okay. Yeah, clutches, steels, pressure plate, the whole thing. Very bad. And when I open this, I mean, the pistons don't look too bad, but I gotta, of course, look at that when it's open, and I want to check here to make sure this is where the bushing rides, the rear stator bushing, that's nice and smooth. Okay. These drums also like to crack, so once I take this apart, I'll see, you know, put some oil in here, blow some air from the other side, and then once it's back together, I'm going to air check it real good also, just to make sure it's not cracked. I've dealt with that, you know, not too often, every maybe 2 or 3 times. Okay, so here is the broken hub. So let's get this snap ring out. Okay, there's the snap ring. So the center should come out. All right, and here is our hub that we can reuse, and we'll just get another shaft. And again, this goes into the planetary. And that's where the splines like to strip out too, but this hub broke. All right, so we got that. We have our A clutch. We're going to remove this bearing. All right. For the forward clutch. You know, it shifted good, 1, 2, and 3. You know, just when I got the 4th, forget it. All right, so this doesn't look bad. Now let's see if we can maybe get that planet out without too much trouble. Usually it comes out pretty easy on the 6R80s. The ZF6HP26 is sometimes not so easy. Okay. Okay, so here's that. Here's the sun gear. I just kind of push on the snap ring, push it away, and lift the end up, and it comes out. Like I said, these come out a lot easier than the 6HP26s. Here's the A drum. All right, and again, just like the BMW units, 6HP26 are, I should say. I'm going to take a Dremel mark here, mark the drum, and mark this balance piston. You know because there's one O-ring around there. And this way everything go back to the same, so when I put the planet in, I'll just snap it right in, no problem. Instead of trying to figure out how it goes, so much easier. All right. All right, so we got a bearing here that goes on the center support here, like that. Let's check out what we got going on here. This is the B. All right, not bad, but hey, I got a banner kit. Okay, let's see. Let's see if these lugs will come out. We don't want to lose those. Okay, very good. Okay, so on these units, the B and the C clutches are the same. The A and the D clutches are the same. Okay. just keep, you know, the steels may be different thicknesses, so just keep the clutches and steels with the drum. Okay, let's take a look at this. All right, so first you want to check these splines. These actually don't look too bad. These look pretty good. So I could probably reuse this planet. On the transits, if it shows any wear, I usually change them because for some reason on the transits they always wear out. All right, so now on this one, let me just bring this down a little bit. Okay, we're gonna have a bearing with a shim. Okay, then we have the first gear. Okay, so this will go like this. Now this is the one where you gotta watch in case this falls apart on you. Okay, so we have the inner sun gear, and you can see it's tapered here and flat here. So the taper is gonna face up. All right, there's also a bearing and a race. Oh, actually the race is still in there. I'm gonna probably just leave it there, but that's how this goes, like this. All right, so you just put the bearing back in, just in case it falls apart. When you pull these things apart, they always fall apart. The taper will face up. This is pretty self-explanatory. This is the race for the bearing, so that'll face down. And look at that spline. All right, pump. That is also going to be a torque 30. Let's see if we can get these out. Oh, we got a shim here, by the way. Okay, put that aside. You know, I'm thinking, now that that shaft is broken and the thing didn't shift out at first, you know, fail-safe was like fourth gear. It was unable to go to fourth gear. Maybe it knew that and it went to first gear. And that's the only, you know, in theory, that's the only thing I can really think of. All right, so knock that out. Get the bolts. I'm going to see what I got around here. I'm going to go on my supplier's website, see if I have a shaft, or if I just have a good used hub here, I can just change the whole thing. All right. So this looks pretty good, nice and smooth where the gears ride. So this looks good. All right. We got the two dots facing me for the pump gears. All right, let's check the pocket here. All right, I like it. Pump is good. All right, valve body, lead frame. For the longest time, I could not get Ford lead frames. I can get them again, so I got a Ford lead frame for that. And, you know, on these solenoids, you really just can't, like if one's bad, you can't just take it out and put any solenoid, and they have band numbers on them, 2, 3, 4, 5, which represents the flow rate. So if you do feel you have to change one, just look at it real close, see what number it has on it, and get that same number. And you should be good to go there. Anything with high mileage, I honestly just get a reman valve body from the company in Lansing, Michigan. Thing works real nice, rarely have problems. Good company, and they stand behind their product. All right, count the diode, locks one way, freewheels the other way. That looks good. And that's it. So we were dealing with friction element E apply time. We see that, of course, it is wiped out. There is nothing left. Even the clutch is even frozen to the steel here. And we found that hub shaft broken. So I figured this thing, you know, for the first time you go out and it hits fourth gear, was doing all kinds of funky stuff. So I figured it was going to be something like this, so I wanted to tear this down with you guys. All right, just a quick shot again of all our parts. All right, 12 F-150, 6R80. We 100% found the problem, so I'm going to get on the computer, see if I can find these shafts. You know, Sonics, sometimes when I do these on the Raptors with the big engines, and these guys, I did a few of these that these guys like brought me the Alto kits with the choline steels and the frictions, and they also got me the shaft here. Sonics does make a hardened one of these. That's more like for performance. You know, I don't really see this too often. You know, I do a lot of these 6R80s, whether it be the F-150s or the Transits. Probably the second or third one I saw broken. You know, it's common, but it's not that common. More common issues with this is bad lead frame and rear stator bushing worn out, causing issues in the higher gears. Those are the two #1 problems with these. All right, guys, I thank you for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you next one.